August 17th, 2025, Tokyo. The Japan Ground Self-Defense Force receives a deeply troubling intelligence report. A bald man in a yellow jumpsuit has been spotted wandering through a restricted zone near Yokosuka Naval Base, apparently looking for a convenience store that carries discounted instant noodles. Security footage confirms the identification. It's the same man who pulverized a stadium-sized meteor with one punch 2 weeks earlier, completely saving 12 million people, then complained publicly that the impact had scuffed his cape. Command doesn't know what he is, what he wants, or why he keeps ending up near sensitive military installations. All they know is that no existing threat category covers him. The Prime Minister authorizes containment by any means necessary. So what happens when the man who can end any fight with a single punch faces off against Japan's most advanced military? 9 a.m. Yokosuka Naval Base. JGSDF infantry units move into position around Saitama's last confirmed location near Pier 12. These are Type 89 assault rifles firing 5.56mm rounds at 920 meters per second, delivering roughly 1,800 joules of energy per shot. 6 soldiers open fire simultaneously from covered positions. All 6 rounds disintegrate on contact with Saitama's chest. He's looking at a vending machine. He's deciding between canned coffee and a sports drink. In Season 1, Carnage Kabuto, a monster capable of cratering reinforced concrete with its footsteps, landed full-force blows on Saitama while Saitama stood there mentally revising a grocery list. Those impacts carried energy in the gigajoule range. 6 rifle rounds don't register. Saitama selects the sports drink, turns around, and notices the soldiers. "Oh, are you guys done?" He sounds genuinely uncertain whether anything actually happened. 9:20 a.m. The base commander escalates. Type 96 wheeled armor personnel carriers roll in from the motor pool, each fitted with an M2 Browning heavy machine gun. The same 50 caliber platform Japan runs across its ground vehicle fleet, firing rounds that hit with 18,000 joules each, enough to disable light armor, enough to crack engine blocks and shred tire assemblies from a kilometer away. 4 vehicles form a perimeter and open fire in overlapping arcs. Tracers light up the air around Saitama like a fireworks display. Every round sparks off his chest and clatters to the pavement. He squints slightly, not from pain, from the noise. In the anime, Boros described his energy blast as powerful enough to evaporate a planetary surface, and Saitama responded to it by yawning mid-flight and adjusting his trajectory home. 18,000 joules per round against someone who has absorbed stellar yield impacts is not a military engagement. It's background radiation he's choosing to tolerate. 9:45 a.m. Type 10 main battle tanks roll in from Camp Takayama. These 44-ton machines carry 120mm smoothbore cannons loaded with Type 10 APF SDS rounds, tungsten penetrators traveling at Mach 5 and delivering 12 megajoules of kinetic energy at point of impact. During NATO evaluation trials, comparable rounds punched clean through simulated third-generation tank armor at extended range. The lead tank fires from 200 meters. The round strikes Saitama directly in the sternum and disintegrates on contact. No penetration, no knockback. Tungsten fragments spray across the pavement like confetti. He looks down at the scorch mark on his suit. This is the problem with attacking Saitama with kinetic weapons. In the manga, being capable of fracturing planetary crusts have failed to leave a bruise. 12 megajoules is statistically closer to 0 than it is to any meaningful fraction of his actual durability threshold. He sighs at the stain on the fabric. This is the 3rd suit this month. 10:15 a.m. F-2 support fighters scramble from Misawa Air Base, Japan's primary close air support aircraft, each carrying Type 91 air-to-air missiles with proximity fuses and a full complement of air-to-surface ordnance. 4 jets converge on Saitama's position from separate vectors, releasing everything at once. The explosions swallow an entire section of the base in a column of fire and shrapnel. Car alarms go off across the harbor district 2 kilometers away. When the smoke settles, Saitama is standing in a perfect ring of blackened concrete, coughing once and brushing ash off his shoulder. In the webcomic's final arc, he absorbed the full discharge of Boros's collapsing star roaring cannon, an attack Boros explicitly stated was capable of stripping the surface of an entire planet. Fighter jet ordnance burns in the range of 3,000 to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Stars burn at 27 million degrees in their cores. There is no version of this engagement where the jets win. He looks up at the circling aircraft. Do any of you know if the Family Mart on Route 16 is still open? 10:45 a.m. The crisis room at the Ministry of Defense has satellite feeds showing one man standing in the smoking center of Japan's most secure naval installation, hands in pockets, appearing to contemplate whether he remembered to cancel a subscription service. They authorized the next option. JMSDF destroyers in Tokyo Bay angled their 127mm naval cannons. Multiple ships fire coordinated volleys designed to saturate a fixed target position. Each shell delivers kinetic and explosive energy that dwarfs anything the ground units attempted. The shells detonate against Saitama in sequence. He takes one step back. Not from the force. He tripped on a chunk of debris. This is the core problem. There is no conventional threshold that reaches him. He broke his limiter. In the anime's internal logic, that isn't a figure of speech. It means his resistance has no ceiling. You can keep scaling the attack. You cannot scale past a ceiling that doesn't exist. 10:30 a.m. The Japan Air Self-Defense Force deploys its premier asset, F-35A stealth fighters from Misawa, Japan's fifth-generation platform, armed with AIM-120 AMRAAMs, carrying 40-pound warheads capable of Mach 4 speeds and 40G terminal intercept maneuvers. 8 jets engage from beyond visual range. 16 missiles close from separate approach angles. For the first time, Saitama actually looks up. Then he moves. In the anime, his casual jog outpaces Sonic, a character who breaks the sound barrier as a standard warm-up. Against Boros, he jumped from the lunar surface back to Earth in roughly 1.5 seconds. That covers 384,000 kilometers, approximately 10% the speed of light. Tokyo to Misawa is 700 kilometers. He could cover that distance in a fraction of a millisecond. All 16 missiles hit empty air simultaneously. Every radar return vanishes. Then the lead pilot feels something tap his canopy. Saitama is hovering beside the cockpit, pointing at something on the coastline below. Hey, is that Don Quixote down there? He's already lost interest in the jets entirely. 12 p.m. The Prime Minister faces the final escalation question. Japan's constitution limits offensive capability, but American extended deterrence is a phone call away. The USS Michigan, an Ohio-class submarine currently operating in the Western Pacific, could put Trident II missiles over Japanese airspace within the hour. Combined W-88 warhead yield of over 80 megatons. Here's the math. In the Garu fight, Saitama's demonstrated output scales to planetary levels. The punch he threw that dispersed Jupiter's atmospheric layers required energy on the order of 10 to the 27th joules. An 80 megaton nuclear strike releases approximately 3.3 times 10 to the 17th joules. His physical resistance exceeds the proposed strike by roughly 10 billion times over, and using it would kill millions of civilians across the Kanto Plain. The authentication codes never leave the safe. Stand down. 12:30 p.m. A JG SDF liaison officer approaches Saitama's position under a white flag accompanied by an interpreter. The officer explains with considerable formality that there's been a series of deeply regrettable misunderstandings, that no hostility was intended, and that the government sincerely apologizes for the inconvenience caused. Saitama blinks. So you're stopping? He sounds genuinely let down. Not because he wanted to damage anything, not because he was angry at anyone. He just wanted something to actually push back, even slightly. The officer nods. Saitama scratches the back of his head. Okay. He pauses. Does the Eon on Route 246 do weekend discounts? I can never remember if that's Saturdays or Sundays. Final assessment. The Japan Self-Defense Force versus Saitama isn't a military engagement, it's a scheduling conflict. He was trying to go grocery shopping. They deployed Type 10 tanks, F-35 fighters, destroyer-class naval guns, and considered nuclear authorization. None of it registered above the level of minor background irritation. In the anime and manga, Saitama's defining characteristic isn't that he wins, it's that he wins before the fight begins, and then feels nothing about it whatsoever. Japan's annual defense budget runs roughly $50 billion. The combined result of deploying it against this one man was a scuff mark on a cape he already described as worn out. Earth's best defense against Saitama isn't a weapons program, it's keeping the Saturday sales stocked.